Good morning, fellow punchers. The clock on the wall says 7:15 on Saturday morning, the 5th of August, the last day of the Goodwood meeting and the second last day of the Galway meeting 2023. First, before I go on to the racing, word filtered through in the afternoon yesterday about Terry Woods having passed away at the early hours of yesterday morning. As you know, Terry touched base with the channel probably 10 weeks ago now, 10 and a half, informing us that he had about 8 weeks to live. So he wanted to get the awareness and the word out to people about taking a blood test annually to prevent prostate cancer, the disease that was the cause of his death. I went over to meet Terry and I'm absolutely delighted I did so. Great positive attitude altogether, even in his latter days. Got some special moments together, a few great laughs. I long remember the journey from Gravesend, the hotel where he picked me up heading for Tottenham. Showed me a lot of things on the way, all the football grounds. Showed me where his mum and dad was buried. Showed me as well where he's going to be cremated. It just happened that all of them are on that route. We chose that route because there was Mary brought us that way on Google Maps because there was a bad accident on the way he would have went, and he said that it's a good job we chose that way because it could be a 3 or 4 hour delay with an accident, because he knew it well, being a black taxi driver, which he proudly told me about 5 or 6 times on the way. He had been a black taxi driver for 5 years. And as he said himself, it was like if we'd known each other all our life. We got on so well together. We had such we're good company for both of us for the short length of time we were together. So my thoughts and prayers are with his wife Helen and family. The kids that I know, the name is Terry Jr. I don't know the rest of them. And his aunt Kitty, I think it was, that made the coddle. And thanks to Sue yesterday for touching base with us and letting us know. So he made a great contribution in the latter end of his life to help people. I've shared that video at several outlets. And his dying wish would have been that everybody would bash the bookies and to spread the word about prostate cancer, about the test that's available with your local GP. So you'll always be with us, Terry. So rest in peace. We have to continue. It wasn't the best of days yesterday. We had, I think we only had the one winner on a couple of places. I missed a couple of the races in Galway yesterday evening because I was umpire at a match. We had the wet gear on. It was raining in the second half. But a good competitive match won by the travelling team, the away team, as they say. For another match today, so I'll get a few of the races in with a match at 4 o'clock. And then with a break, 2 weeks' time, I think, again, we're kicking off. I have a few today. I didn't go through the 2 cards like other days. It's tough not knowing what the weather will do and what horses are laid out. There was a couple of gambles pulled yesterday evening, horses that I had looked at, but I was saying today mightn't be the day. But if you're at the racetrack and see late money for some of those stables, particularly gambling stables, you'd know that the handbrake was in the off position. We start off today in the 225 at Goodwood with a horse that has won for us the last twice, Sweet William. He's going for the Ebor. He probably need to win to make sure he gets in. He's off 95 now. To make sure he get in, he'd be on to be, going up maybe 4 or 5 pounds. Grand lightly raced Stayer only has ran 5 times, won the last 2 this year when he was stepped up in Thrib. The last he was over 2 miles. and a lot of things didn't go right for him. But here he is in the pink colours, third from the left. I thought he'd done it fairly well.
The field, Aztec Empire, stripe cap is on the move. Hadrianus the black and white ridden along, so too Postilio. Rainbow Dreamer, the yellow star on the cap trying to thread through. Second from the left, Apparate is making headway under pressure. Heading inside the last quarter mile, and Sweet William the pink cap has forged through to take over here. Aztec Empire is giving chase from Novel Legend, Solent Gateway weakening away, but Sweet William is really beginning to stay on powerfully as they come deep inside the furlong. Novel Legend is chasing, but he's surely chasing in vain. And Sweet William, a young stayer, very much on the up, wins hard.
Going on the snaff, as they say. He's 5-2 for today. In the event that he was pulled out, we have a horse there that done us a good turn before, Adjuvant. But look who's riding him, Mr. Dottore, and I cannot get him right lately at all. And he screwed us out at the treble yesterday. The same as Moore, I can't get him right either at times. 9-4 now. There's a few of them. It depends on the ground. The ground could be desperate there today, but there's a few fast company horses in it. And Yukon Glen, even though he's 10, loves soft ground. So they were saying it was going to be a very bad outcome today. That Splendid, I didn't back it the last time because I'm good to fair him out of fast company in it won, and I thought it would be better on heavy ground, soft ground. But look who's riding as well, Mr. Moore, and between the two of them, I'd have no bet if he doesn't run. 3:35 is the Stewards Cup. Always a competitive affair. Being drawn low is no negative at all. And the favourite is Orazio. And he won for us 2 runs back. He actually hosed up that day. But I think he's better with a lot of cut on the ground. Lightly raced enough as well. One first time out, which is always a good sign. But on soft ground in Ascot on the 12th of May, heavy in places is the official ground that day.
Kane, who showed up early on, is now an under pressure of 4th. Then Chairman of the Board and Sterling Knight ahead of Bickerstaff and Marshall Dan is the back marker. They're heading towards the final furlong. Orazio now sent about his work to the outside under Buick. Draws issue now with Sir Thomas Gresham inside the final furlong. Orazio gets in front by about a length or so. They're on towards the line, and it's Orazio and a double up for Charlie Hills here at Ascot. It's Orazio to score. Sir Thomas Gresham in second, Baldemero.
Done that snug enough. In the that's drawn low. There's 2 drawn high with that's well handicapped as well. The horse that let us down the last year for a good few pounds but ran well is Significantly. But that race was over 5 furlongs, and this horse is better over 6. It's only rated 87, but was in the hundreds at the start. And that day behind Intrinsic Bond was 5 furlongs on good ground, whereas the previous run, when it won for us, was 6 furlongs. It's better over 6. Soft won't be a problem, I don't think. It's drawn high. And there's a horse also drawn high that ran well enough the last day. I think that's better over 6 than over the 6.5 it ran the last day in Ireland. Was Albashir. That's drawn high as well. But it was proved yesterday with Jack Channon's horse that drawn high wasn't a totally negative at all when I got a forceful ride from the start. But that's rated 90, what is it now? 97. So you can see there to the 110, 103 at the start of the year. But the last day when it ran in that rate, came over to Ireland, and it looked dangerous at the at the 6 furlong pole. I don't think it really stayed the last half a furlong. So anyone looking for 2 outsiders, they're paying 6 places, I think. Yeah, 6. Just I see one crowd, they're paying 8. That's unreal. Al-Bashir is 16-1 and significantly is 25-1, 28-1 in places. So there's one other bet at Goodwood with heavy ground being in me head. I don't know how bad it's going to be. It's 1 Greatgadian. This was a good run in the Lincoln on heavy ground behind Migration. He was 40-1 that day. But the fact he was only beaten 4 lengths and he was rated 100 that day. And he's down to 90 now, and Aidan Keeley has taken £3 off, so that'll be bringing him down to 87. So the last to me was an 87, which was third to Solon Getaway, and then he won off 89. So he's handicapped to win, and the heavy ground shouldn't be a problem. The step up and trip should be all right as well by Sayuni out of a Black Sam Bellamy mare. The Black Sam Bellamy's love cutting the ground. Then on to Galway. There's 2 horses in Galway with heavy ground in there that I like from before. One is Dragon of Malta. We backed this last year in, was it Killarney or Listowel? Yeah, it was in Listowel last September. No, it was the one in October. It was third that day. It was well beaten by Cosmic Vega. But it likes cutting the ground. And Colin Keane stays with it. He was third on it the last day in Killarney. And the fact that he stays, he'd have had a choice, you'd imagine, one of the top jockeys. It's a 6-year-old, rated 70. It won off 68 and it was up in the high 70s for a long time there, running well. Like on its second Earls by a neck off 78 and fifth to Dunham. You know, they're good runs, and it has ran well in Galway before. Well, let's see which way is it drawn. I think it's drawn, yeah, drawn 5. That's a good enough position. And then there's another one with heavy ground, no fear, is Wild Dollar. There's a strong favourite in that, but I tipped up this once before on a strong run in Leopardstown on heavy ground. The 5th of April, it was third to Crystal Clear, it came out, and to 25-1, it came out a Witherden run, and then it soft to heavy behind Smooth Tom. Good ground the last day, it didn't run well enough at all. But heavy ground in the step up and trip, I thought might suit that today at a big price. I was trying to get something that at least to get place. There's no point tipping up Coeur at 15-8 and it'd be in second place, like. So that was a 12-1 and then paying 5 places. There's 2 shorties that I'd expect to win today. Is in Free Wind at 11-10 in Goodwood in the Lily Langtry Stakes. It's a Group 2. The softer the ground, the better for this. Good to firm the ground the last time, I don't think, was when Piledriver beat it. But step up and trip won't be a problem. Cushion the ground. And in the bumper in Galway, my 12 pins, or 12 pins, the the 12 pins. We backed this last year at 10-1, and there was late money for it, and it was second, only beating the neck at 9-2. Willie had other horses in the race, if I remember correctly, but this Song Is For You won it. Yeah, Patrick Mullins was on Book Hill that day. And it hasn't ran since. Same race 12 months later. Them two of them are even money. 11-10 and even money. That'd be a 3-1 double. 12 pins. It's even money with some of them. To get that after 8 o'clock when you get the guaranteed prices. In the big race in Galway today, the 2:30. If the reserve runs, Bugs Malone, I'm trusting that it will be fit enough. It hasn't ran in a while for Noel Meade. Now, it's a shot in the dark, but the fact that if he does run, they must think he's that he'd be fit enough. Noel does have them fairly fit when they run first time out, but he is a reserve, so it'd be a tip in itself if they run him. On his last run there, behind a Great View, that was last April, 12 months, it's a long time ago, so you have to trust his fitness, but Noel does have them fairly sweet when he runs them. So if it runs, it was 12s last night, so there has been a bit of money for it. So that's a good sign enough that as I said, the Shorties were on last night. So we'll see. One more day to go in Galway, which is tomorrow. There's a couple of races that I'll do a short video tonight. I will see. So I'll get this into the oven. And as Terry Woods would say, bash the bookies.